Tennessee has they have stretches where they have a hard time scoring, and,
Yes.
without him, that makes it a real challenge for them. I don't like them at all.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to our special NCAA Men's Tournament edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today are our OCP team of correspondents, starting with Captain for Life, Will Cotton. Cotton, man, how you doing, sir?
Doing great. Wish we had another Sunday next week.
Also with us, technical difficulties beside him, aside Mr. King, my favorite colleague. How are you, Mike?
And well,
all right. And our official, who's probably not a fan of Fred Van Vliet right now, Robert Abney, our favorite administrator. How are you, sir?
I am living the dream, man. I just got back from watching the New Mexico State basketball tournament after calling a few games in the Texas State tournament, and we got favorite time of year, man. Best time of year.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, from the 2006 Cinderella run of the Final Four at George Mason, Follerin Campbell has snuck in. How are you today, Follerin?
I'm doing. Check you. I'm doing well, man. Like Robert said, man, this is my favorite time of the year, man. It brings back a lot of emotions, man, and I'm excited for all these student athletes, man. They're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be fun for me and everybody else. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
All right. So segment one, we're gonna just talk about mid-majors. Teams that most of you probably haven't paid attention to, but if you listen to the show, we have. Segment two, we're going to talk about the Power Five. These are all the schools you actually like that are probably going to disappoint you in your pools. And then segment three, we're going to pick our 16, 8, 4, and potential champions. But again, fans, before we begin, all of this is done strictly for entertainment purposes only. So don't put your mortgage on this stuff because we're just hanging out, okay? So the first round starts Thursday and Saturday. So this comes out on Thursday. So I hope you're listening to it in the morning. All right. And the second round will be Friday and Sunday. Okay. So let's get this going. So in terms of making your picks, pick however you want. I don't care. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. I'm a sheet of integrity kind of guy, but go ahead and be in 16, 17 pools if that's what you want. But I got one, and that's it. And if you follow us on social media, I'll put out a fun pool, and the winner can hang out with us on a show segment if you're really that bored. Okay. So let's get to the mid-major teams to watch. And fellas, if you know of any of them that I mentioned, let me know. But I'm going to start off with Kennesaw State. I actually like them. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Their story is unique because a couple of years ago, they only won one game, and now they're in the NCAA tournament. So anybody ever seen them, or you're like, whatever, coach? Nobody's seen them.
I got nothing.
Okay, it's okay. And shout out to my favorite almost alum of Kennesaw State, Ayana Jones. She's graduating, and congratulations on getting your master's degree. Next team is Vermont. They've got seniors on their team, guys, that rarely commit turnovers, and they've won 15 straight. We love Coach Becker. He was at Catholic when I was at Hood. So, we have common friends, but you guys have the sheet in front of you. Who does Vermont play?
Marquette.
Yeah, we're good. Don't pick Vermont, folks. Don't do it. But I like them. So you could take the line if you want, but we like Marquette. We'll tell you about that later. Florida Atlantic. They're on a 7-game winning streak, and they've been good all year. Fellas, I'm relying on you. Who do they play?
Memphis.
They could beat Memphis. All right. So, they could beat Memphis. I like Iona. They've won 14 straight. Rick Pitino knows how to coach in March, April, May, June, July. This guy knows how to coach. Who do they play, guys?
UConn.
They could beat UConn. Anybody with me on Iona beating UConn?
I ain't gonna say they
It's
can't.
gonna be a good one, but
They can't.
exactly, they can. Anything is possible during March.
Anything is possible. I love it. All right, we're gonna go to Charleston. Charleston's a legit team. They're on a 10-game winning streak. Who does Charleston play?
San Diego.
They can beat San Diego State Aztecs.
I like Charleston.
Go ahead with Charleston.
I'll say this because I see San Diego State play a lot. That they have men on their team. They got no skinny little freshmen. They have men. They are dudes. So
where's that game being played at, fellas?
Charleston is a really good team. But they better buckle their chin straps because it's going to be a grind for them.
Where's that game at?
San Diego State better come in that 3-point line because Charleston, they let it fly. They let it fly.
The game's in Orlando?
Amway Center.
All right, pick Charleston. NFL rule: whenever the West Coast team flies east and plays the early game, pick the East Coast. See, fans, don't believe us.
Yeah.
All right, Colgate is a legitimate team. They're old as heck. They're on a 9-game winning streak, but I think they're actually playing somebody that's really, really good.
Texas.
They're playing Texas. They can beat Texas, but I like Texas because they're playing for that dude. But again, take the points then because Colgate's not bad. They're going to be in that ball game. So whenever the spread comes out,
Texas is really good.
They are,
and they're playing for
hard.
them, man. They're playing.
They are really good.
2 nights ago. Yeah,
That's the Detroit rule.
Like they just they beat up on Kansas really bad. Like they just play hard, man. They're physical. Colgate, it's gonna be a good one. I hope.
All right, Oral Roberts is on a 17-game winning streak. They can play. They're good. They're old. They win their conference on a regular. And is that the Duke game, fellas?
Yep, sir.
All right. So look, fans, it's okay to pick Oral Roberts to beat Duke. It's okay. Now Duke's playing better. Duke's healthier. Duke should win. But Oral Roberts can play, so don't. Mid-major to watch is Oral Roberts, and another mid-major to watch is VCU. All
That's
right,
what I was going to say. VCU.
another mid-major to watch. They defend. We like Mike Rhodes. We love JD. We like their staff. We like their people. But who do they play?
Another major team to watch. St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. Now I like St. Mary's, but I think the game is. Is that in New York or something?
It's in the West.
That's in the West somewhere.
It is in. No, it's West, but it says Albany.
Yes,
That's right. That's right. Because UConn is a high seed there.
yes. So fans, there's another one that you might want to peek at: VCU over St. Mary's. But St. Mary's is not bad. But that's your classic 5-12.
I think I've seen St. Mary's a lot, and they're not playing very well right now. They've gotten beaten twice by Gonzaga in the past couple weeks by a combined, I think it was like 100. I don't know. Gonzaga has just smacked them the last 2 times they've played them.
VCU has 2 guys shooting 40% from 3, and one thing you need to win in the NCAA or to go far in the NCAA tournament is someone from Maryland. They got someone from Maryland. They got Michigan transfer. That's what you need.
I ain't mad at you. That's why we got teachers
Maryland to go far every year.
Now, Adrian Baldwin, man, he's a great point guard, man.
Yep.
Player of the year in the A10. He's going to cause problems. I really like VCU in this matchup. I really do.
Really?
Well, speaking of some CUs, GCU, go Lopes. I got my degree sitting right there. I got 2 degrees from GCU. I got my master's in teaching from GCU, and I got my doctorate from GCU. And they can play, but unfortunately, I do remember that they're playing Gonzaga, and they're playing Gonzaga in Colorado, so that's a West game. And yeah, I was all excited. No, they're not beating Gonzaga, but I like them. I like GCU.
Get a little patch on the jersey, but yeah, it'll be short.
Yeah. No alumni dollars going there anyway. All right, fellas. I like Memphis. Memphis is a mid-major to watch. But who's Memphis playing?
Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Memphis might not make it. St. Mary's is the mid-major I had. They might not make it. I like UNC Asheville, but I don't like who they're playing. Who are they playing?
UCLA
Yeah, I actually like UCLA, but they
In-
lost their
in
best.
California.
Yeah, and Mick Cronin's an East Coast guy on the West Coast, so yeah, that's going to be a short trip. UC Santa Barbara's on a 7-game winning streak. Robert, are they playing anybody of note?
Let's see. They are
UC Santa Barbara.
Baylor.
Okay, well,
yeah,
it's been
no.
an absolute
No.
pleasure to
No.
Hey, follower, what did you say? Hey, can I take this card with me? Yes, you
Yeah.
can take the card with him. Go ahead, take the card,
Yeah,
son.
get your swag bag on the way out the door, fellas.
All right, Kent State. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They can play, but who are they playing?
Indiana.
I really don't like Indiana. It's okay to pick Kent State.
I don't like Indiana. My mom went to Indiana, so I've always kind of been partial to them, but I don't like the way they play. I think they just I think and you don't usually say this about Big Ten teams, but they strike me as being kind of soft.
One guy. They've got one guy.
Yeah, they got one guy. Yeah.
And in the tournament, you can stop one guy.
Actually, no, I like their point guard too. I like their point guard.
The freshman.
Yeah, the freshman. Yeah, I think
he's pretty good.
Shafino or something like that.
Something like that. But that's like.
Yeah, outside of that, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. He's been a little inconsistent this year. Like he looks good some games, and other games it's like, where's he at? So you're right.
All right, and then the last mid-major that I think you guys should take a look at, fans, is Louisiana. They're on a 5-game winning streak, but who do they play?
Tennessee.
I like Tennessee better. I like Louisiana. So it was a lovely time to come and hear your parting gifts.
They lost. Hey, but Tennessee lost their point guard.
They did win. Uh-oh.
Kai Ziegler, he tore his ACL 2-3 games ago. And
I knew he was out. I didn't know he was out for the season. Wow.
Out. He is out.
Strictly for entertainment purposes only, fans.
And Tennessee has they have stretches where they have a hard time scoring. And without him, that makes it a real challenge for them. I don't like them at all.
Okay. Didn't know that little nugget. That's why we have Robert there. All right, fellas, to close out this segment, I'm going to go to each of you and tell me a mid-major that you think our fans should keep an eye on. Starting with you, Will. Who do you think our fans should keep an eye on as a mid-major?
Give me Vermont. I'll take any teams that got a ton of seniors, looking to play a little bit more physical. So, and they don't have turnovers. That's the key. So I like Vermont.
Mike, what do you think?
I'm going VCU.
VCU is the one to look at.
Yep.
Robert, how about you?
I agree. I agree with Mike. I think of the 5-12, 4-13 games, I think if you're going to pick one, I would pick VCU.
Okay. And following, you are the authority, sir.
Yeah, I mean, no, I was going to say VCU, but also I like Florida Atlantic too. I really feel like that. It can go either way. Memphis is playing well, and they just beat the number 1 team, Houston. So that momentum, they can keep it going. But Florida Atlantic's been playing well. They're gritty. They're not going to back down. So if it came down to the wire, I like Florida Atlantic. But if it gets ugly, then Memphis, they'll take care of business. So
yeah, I like them too. So with that, fans, we'll be back after this break to talk about the names of schools you've heard of on the iCoaches podcast.
The high school and college academic and athletic landscape is changing. The growing number of college transfers, as well as student athletes being able to profit off the use of their name, image, and likeness, has given student athletes the freedom and power to make life-changing decisions. That is why it is important for student athletes to be properly informed throughout their decision-making process. The difference between success and failure is often measured not by yards, but by inches, and even the most successful coaches and players use outside independent consultants to help improve their decision-making, which improves their results. That is what the CKA SAVE project would like to do for student athletes across the country, improve their academic and athletic results. Our academic and athletic consulting services assist student athletes with the college decision-making process. The CKA's team of former high school and college coaches can provide student athletes an independent assessment of their academic and athletic skills to assist student athletes in their college decision-making process. Let the CKA team evaluate your academic and athletic ability to assist you in finding the right fit for your academic and athletic career. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Ad Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, we're going to give you Power 5 teams to watch and Power 5 teams that are most likely to disappoint you. So, fellas and Robert, I'm going to start with you because I need an administrator to get me through this one. Alabama is looking really good. They are not distracted. They're beating people pretty badly, and none of this noise is bothering them. Any thoughts about Alabama? Because, man, they look good.
First of all, I mean, I don't think, first of all, the SEC is not very good, for one thing. I mean, it is a Power 5 conference, but I think it's the lowest rated of the 5. And their bad teams are really, really bad. And Tennessee was pretty good, and then they lost that point guard. Texas A&M is
They're not bad.
They're
I'm not
okay. They're okay. But they just, I mean, Buzz Williams, he does a really good job. They don't score the ball. They just grind you down is what they do. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop with this Alabama thing. I think that something more is going to come out. I just think that the timing of it is going to, I mean, that's going to have an impact on their run. It may be over. The tournament may be over, and then more stuff comes out. They may hold it that long. I don't know.
Yeah, but our national champion, defending champion, was on probation. So,
yeah,
but different
I mean,
things here.
I don't like them in that bracket anyway. I think that I like Baylor a lot better than I like them in that bracket.
All right, Mike, you provide me levity like Bobian does. How are we feeling about the Alabama piece? Because they're playing well, but man, that's a lot of energy around that school.
Before the tournament, their last 4, they lost to Texas A&M by 6. They beat Auburn by 5. They beat Arkansas by 3. Those were at home. And they beat South Carolina on the road by 2. Then they straightened it out in the SEC tournament. But like we said, the SEC's meh. They beat a 7 seed, and anyone else that made it? No. So, I mean, they got talent. They definitely have a shot, but Virginia could be tough. They're going to get past Maryland or West Virginia, but Virginia could be tough. Baylor could be tough. I kind of agree. It's just like we saw with when there's something hanging over a team. It just, I don't know. It comes to get you at some point.
Yeah. Will, we were talking before the show. Any thoughts you want to share about Alabama? It's crazy times, man.
Outside of the issues, man, I think we have to commend the young men who are actually playing, focusing. You know, they try not to get distracted by things going on that may not be part of what they got going on. They're still playing. You know, there's still 13 other guys on that team outside of the one. You know, and one of the times that we kind of talked to when we were younger, I know Fowler and Coach know about is sometimes you have to internalize yourself. Sometimes you have to just focus on you and your team and your family just to kind of get through. And I think they're showing a lot of maturity outside of what's going on internally, that they're trying to push themselves through the tournament. You know, so there's some things I commend outside of what's going on with their issues. You know, they have a really good close-knit team. Obviously communications aren't getting leaked or anything like that. So, I mean, they're going to be a tough team, man. I mean, they're really just focusing on basketball, which is everyone else is kind of looking at the lights and the glamour and the cameras. And, you know, they've been playing the last 2 months or so without that over their head. So they'll be a tough team to beat. You know, if they can kind of push through and just focus on basketball, I mean, they could be a really good team as we get to, you know, closer to the end of the tournament. So commend the older guys who just kind of, you know, were the leaders in the team. Definitely say, hey, look, this is us. This is our family. they're obviously a very tight group. They don't have to worry about things like that. No information is really getting out. They're really scary, man. People can talk about what you want, but your strength of your family, man. Fowler knows about that, man, and we know about that, man. So believe.
All right. Following, what do you think before we move on to the other Power 5 schools? Alabama, man.
I like Alabama, man. I really do. Only because of Brandon Miller, man. I think I understand he has a lot going on off the court, but I mean, he on the court, he's a dog. And I mean, this is his chance to show why he should move up in the draft. And Jabari didn't have a good year last year in the tournament, but I'm talking about Jabari Smith. But I think this guy, Brandon Miller, man, I think he's going to showcase why he should move up in the draft, and he's going to carry that team. I want to say probably, I think he'll get his real matchup against Virginia. I do think Virginia will take care of business, and they'll probably meet in the Elite Eight. That's where we're going to see where he stands. Virginia's defense, I mean, they're long. They defend, they can score. So it's going to be a good matchup, and we're going to see where he stands.
All right. So some Power 5 teams to watch, and I appreciate you guys letting us go in deep on Alabama. Houston, Texas, Marquette. I'm going to pause on Marquette because the first words ever uttered on the Odd Coaches podcast was Shaka Smart. Shaka was smart enough to leave Texas before Texas left him, and he landed in a soft spot, and now he's got that Havoc defense going. I think Marquette's going to make a deep run this year, and they got a chance to do some stuff. Fellas, what are y'all thinking about Duke? Do y'all believe in them? They're on a 9-game winning streak, and they're healthy.
I think they formula. I think they know how to get to the tournament. They know how to get guys ready to go. But it's not like Jack said. It's a different animal now when they get in the tournament. I don't know if they got it.
So look. This is my opinion. They're healthy. You got Whitehead back. The freshmen are not playing like freshmen anymore. Like watching them play the other night, I said, "Oh, they're ready." Now I'm not saying, okay, look, they're going to go to the Final Four, but I think they're ready. They're long. They defend. They're putting the ball in the basket now. Jeremy Roach is playing really well right now. I mean, I think they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah. Robert, go ahead, Mike.
They got the schedule in their way, though. They get out of the first round, they get Tennessee.
The scheduling too, yep.
If they get past that, it's Purdue, and I'm not a huge Purdue fan, but Tennessee, I think I think that's the bigger test.
Yeah, but Robert blew my smoke. I didn't know about the injury. So I'm going to skip Tennessee.
That's the thing. It's like Duke can defend, and I'm not confident on Tennessee scoring. I'm really not.
Not at all.
You got their two guard. What is it, Vesco? He's handling the ball now with Ziegler out. So you got you got to get everybody involved and score. I mean, I'm not sold on Tennessee being able to put enough points up against a good Duke defense.
All right. So Miami, I'm always going to root for Coach L. They play defense.
Oh, yeah.
They I think they got a shot to do some stuff to at least get to the Sweet.
Come on. I'm rooting for them boy. I might be a little biased, so don't even say it.
Okay. Arizona, Kansas State. Keep an eye on Kansas State fans. Keep an eye on Kansas, and this is another year that I think Gonzaga can sneak into the Sweet 16 and see what happens after that. But fellas, I'm going to jump the teams most likely to disappoint you, starting off with dang blasted Purdue and them guards. I've been mad at them guards all year. They've got the player of the year sitting in the post, and they keep running by them. They keep shooting threes. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Robert, help me out with Purdue because I've texted you on a few occasions about them guards. Do you believe in Purdue? Am I being too hard on them? What's going on?
Nope. I'm selling on Purdue, man. It wouldn't shock me if the winner of Memphis FAU beats them. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all if I think probably the winner of Marquette and Kansas State comes out and goes to the Final Four in that region.
All right. So Mike, don't be mad at me, but don't bet on Maryland.
I
It's not
agree.
gonna work out for you. But again, don't be mad at me. This is not the Vitterall as in years
We'll talk.
past.
We'll talk next year when the freshmen come because we got a couple good ones. So next year, at this time, this podcast will have a different view on Maryland.
All right. As much as I like UVA, it's something about them this year that I'm just not sold on. So, kind of stay away from UVA if you are betting. Same thing with Kentucky. Nah, not buying it. Not buying it. Not buying Northwestern and not buying Indiana. So, fellas, as we close segment 2, any direction you want to go in, a Power 5 you like, or somebody you want to stay away from, it's up to you. Starting with you, Mr. King. What do you think?
I mean, my thing was just not liking Purdue. 6-point lead against Penn State, 24 seconds left, and it ends up being they have a chance to win it at the end. Like,
Go to the rack, by the way. Go to the rim. Sorry.
this
Coach
is,
Adams came out.
and it was bonus, 2 shots. So just throw the ball in.
They had the big man away from the basket, catch it, screw all of it, go to the rim. Nobody's taking a charge.
It was
Anyway, I digress. Robert, what are you thinking about the Power 5s? Anybody you like, don't like? Your call, sir.
One thing that's going to be really interesting. I mean, I think Texas could very easily make the Final Four. They could very easily come out of that region, but they may have to play Texas A&M in the second round, and those games are always weird. That used to be a huge rivalry. They split conferences. They're going to be in the same conference again here pretty soon, and they haven't seen each other for years. They still do not like each other. So that game is going to be really interesting, and that may cause them to miss the Final Four because they're going to have to bring it to beat Houston.
All right. Will, what are you thinking about with the Power 5?
The last game, watching Houston, that's not the way you want to start the tournament. I think they're kind of moving on the downtrend. And I think that could be one of the teams that's going to disappoint you. Could be earlier than you thought. So I'm looking at Houston, and also going to add Kansas. You don't lose by 20 points in a Big 12 championship. I'll call them a rival in terms of basketball. That's what they are. But losing by 20, I know your coach was there, but Kansas is looking like they need to kind of figure things going out before going into the tournament.
All right, following. Who do we like? Go ahead, Robert.
By the way, Bill Self is expected to coach in the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
All right, that's going to help because I'm thinking about their assistant coach coaching if I'm not there, and I would have wanted that either.
He was the coach. Was at St. John's, and he was not really a very personable or likable coach. I don't think he's going to get the best from those kids. So Bill Self back is great for them.
Okay, and following Power 5.
Quick question. With Houston, is Marcus Sasser out? Like, did they?
Is that the kid with the groin injury?
Yeah.
Groins are bad, man.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's big.
That's a big injury.
If he's out, then yeah, Houston. I don't see Houston making it to the Final Four. But if he's playing, I really do like Houston. He's definitely a difference maker. But as far as my upset, I don't think Indiana's going to go far. They'll match up with. I'm assuming Miami will beat Drake, and I think Indiana will be out after that. Miami is just they spread the floor out. They're physical. They can defend. Indiana's guards and they're big. So I feel like Indiana they'll be out next round.
All right, and with that, go ahead.
Did Sasser play today? I didn't see.
No, he did not play today. He did not play today.
Yep.
All I'm able to find is that he was questionable for today, and I would suspect that if you're questionable for today, you're probably still going to be pretty questionable next week because that's not an area you want to mess with.
Mm-hmm. I understand maybe they wanted to rest him, but if he is hurt, if he pulled anything, he won't be ready by Thursday.
No, not at all.
Can't ramp up that Thursday for groin.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, when we come back, fans, we're going to make our prediction. I am going to turn it over to our team, and they're going to let me know their final four. We'll be right back on the Yard Coaches Podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete academic and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Yard Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, we make our final four predictions. So let's get started with Mr. King. Mike, give us your final four.
See, I'm going to go Arizona, Marquette, Kansas, and Texas.
All right. I think we've hung out a little bit. Will, what do you got?
I like Bama. I like Texas, Kansas, and Mr. King, I do like Marquette as well.
Okay. Robert, what about you, sir?
I'm going to go Baylor, Houston, Marquette, Kansas.
Now you're assuming Marcus is healthy, correct? That's 76 points right there.
I'm willing to go. I'm willing to go out on that limb. I think that Houston is the best team in that region.
I saw they looked against Memphis today without him. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So here's what I think they can beat Northern Kentucky and either Iowa or Auburn without him.
Got you. Okay. And then he'll have nothing to press. I got you.
All right, Following. What are you thinking?
Yeah, my final four is I think Alabama will get there. I'm going with I want to go with Houston. I don't know about Marcus and how if he'll be back, but if not, I got to go with Texas. I like Texas a lot. They play hard, and we're gonna go with Marquette. I like Marquette getting there, and I like in this bracket. I like UCLA. I like UCLA upsetting Kansas. I'm just not sold on Kansas, man. They're very inconsistent. They look good, but if Wilson is playing well, they're all right. But other than that, the rest of the guys are really inconsistent. So I like UCLA.
Coach, we say don't trust West Coast teams.
I know, but hey, somebody chose Arizona, so I was like, you know what? Let's go with UCLA, man. So
all right, so fans, myself, I got Alabama. Despite my misgivings, I'm looking at who I have in the Sweet 16. I would have Alabama, Virginia, Baylor, Arizona. I just think Alabama's better because when it's close, go with the team with the best dude. Sometimes you got to get out of your best player's way. Funny, I'm saying this, and let him go. And man, that dude is the best player. Okay. So in the Midwest, I just like how they're playing. I'm going Texas. I want that guy to get the job permanently, and they're playing the way I want you to play in March. I got Houston, Miami, Pittsburgh, Texas, and I only got Pittsburgh because I had to pick somebody because I'm like Following that Midwest region's kind of weak. Mm-hmm. So Miami could go, and that wouldn't bother me at all either. Yeah. But I got Alabama, Texas. I got Kansas in the West because UConn, Gonzaga, and UCLA are the other teams I have, and UCLA lost their best defender. I know as a coach, that's a bad injury, and I need somebody to go guard. I need Daryl Norris to pick up the best guard until the fourth quarter when somebody will say, all right, I got him.
Who did UCLA lose?
They lost whoever the defensive player of the year was in the Pac-12. That's their best defender. He's out for the tournament. So I don't know his name, but that's why I'm going Kansas.
Yeah, I forget. They did mention that last night against Arizona.
But UConn's good though. I mean, but I'm going Kansas. And then I'm like everybody else. I'm rooting for Shaka because Purdue's guards, they just won't play right. Just play right.
Yeah,
and Tennessee, that's a bad injury. I like Kansas State. I like their coach. I like their vibe and all of that. But man, let's get some Marquette in there. All right. So go ahead, Rob.
Marquette.
So the
Sounds
guard
like Vermont's winning. That's
the guard for UCLA, the guard for UCLA who hurt himself is Jalen Clark.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And they had a big guy go out with a shoulder injury, although it doesn't say that his is season ending. Adam Bona.
Was this last night?
This was in the semifinal.
Let's see. Okay.
So that's two guys there. And I mean, I'm with Will. I don't trust West Coast teams either.
And I heard what you said, Mike, and you're probably right. So
Jalen Clark's more than just defense. He's 13 points, 6 rebounds.
Yeah, that's a big goal.
Because I'll tell you right now, if they wind up playing TCU in the Sweet, like let's say UCLA, TCU in the Sweet 16, UCLA ain't going to like that because TCU gets after you. They get after it.
All right.
Hey, let me resend my pick, man. I'm going with
Go ahead, man. You know how we do.
I don't like UCLA anymore.
Okay. All right. So final thoughts as we start the tournament. And hopefully we can all catch up at my place outside of Robert, who's not flying into BWI. Will, any final thoughts on this year's tournament?
Shout out to Howard, baby. We here. Let's go.
Yes. Mike King, any final thoughts, sir?
I just don't want to lose to West Virginia again in the tournament. West Virginia.
Fans, Mike's a Maryland alum.
Just got to gamble in West Virginia. That's
All right, Robert. Any final thoughts, sir? And Robert's based out of Texas now, folks.
Hey, I'm all about Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, the Islanders.
Yes, but they're a 16 seed, man.
They're a 16 seed, but they're going to win that play-in game, and they're going to come in and they're going to give Alabama hell. That's what they're going to do.
All right, give them hell 54. I saw Glory on the airplane. Sorry, Lauren. Any thoughts?
Hey, look, I want to see Miami and Maryland in the national title, man. That's only because I'm being biased. I'm sorry. You know my guys.
Yes.
I would love to see that, man.
I ain't give the money,
Both is yes, guys. Finally, before I close, while I got followed here, best Final Four memory. Hood College went to the Division III the Division III tournament, the same year George Mason made the tournament. We're listening to the you guys played Michigan State first, Fowler?
Yeah.
All right, we're listening to the grainy in the woods of Roanoke, and the announcer said Mason's winning, and myself, Tom Dickman, and Tay Hill said, Mason's what? So we get to the hotel, we rush up, Mason wins. Did I leave a message on your phone? Because I don't think we were texting at that point.
Yeah.
And we did the exchange things, and I said to him, if you beat North Carolina, I ain't missing another game. And he said, well, Coach, I guess you ain't missing another game because we beat North Carolina. And sure enough, I was already booked to go to the Final Four in Indy. And a coach and a player just had just some good times with that piece. And him scoring over Rudy Gay with a step back jumper that he hated working on in practice, still to this day makes me smile. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, as well as the Cavalcade of Stars, I am Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Eye Coaches podcast. And we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care and listen to your coach.
The Eye Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student athlete academic progress, to improving student athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA SAVE project provides wraparound services for student athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.